And viewers, the selection to the Indian Civil Services remains one of the most sought-after career aspirations for millions. Even in this day and age of high-paying private jobs, the lure of public service has managed to hold its own for the influence it commands and the opportunity it offers to make a difference to the nation. But what happens when the spirit of service falls victim to selfish entitlement and material privilege? What happens when those who are meant to serve begin to unscrupulously throw their weight around? Dr. Puja Khedkar, a 2023 batch IAS officer of the Maharashtra cadre, is in the eye of a storm after she was exposed for the liberties that she was taking and the perks that she was demanding while still being a newly minted trainee. In fact, several of her demands, including an official car, a cabin and accommodation, were made even before she could formally take charge and not being eligible. However, undaunted by precedent and eligibility, Puja seemingly pressed on and pressurized senior officials to deliver on these claims, with her influential father also lobbying for her. But there's more. Following the Pune collector's complaint, Dr. Puja has been transferred from her Pune position to Vashim. When we confronted her, the penny had dropped and the mindset of entitlement was snuffed out. Listen in.
I'm not authorized to speak anything right now, so I cannot comment on this. Oh, I'm very happy to join in Vashim district and I'm looking forward to working in it. I'm not authorized to speak anything right now, so I cannot comment on this. Oh, I'm very happy to join in Vashim district and I'm looking forward to working in it.
If that was Puja being contrite, it may be too late, too little too late in fact, because the focus has already switched to how she got here in the first place. It appears that she has claimed being the quota benefits, in fact, for being an OBC and having multiple disabilities. But as per her influential father's own election affidavit, her family's income and wealth leave her ineligible. She also refused 6 times to undertake a medical examination when asked by UPSC and then submitted privately obtained reports. An adverse and explicit tribunal order somehow didn't stop her becoming an IAS officer. And once she was in, it appears she went out of her way to mark her territory. She apparently installed a lal batti and a VIP number plate on her private luxury car, assumed the official space of another official, got her own nameplate installed and pressurized her seniors for even more privileges. Listen in to RTI activist Vijay Kumar poke holes in her conduct.
ये इसमें मैंने कोई आरटीआई वगैरह नहीं डाला था। जब ये पूजा खेड़कर का बिहेवियर सामने आया, उसकी खबरें आने लगी, तो मैंने पब्लिक डोमेन में जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स है वो हासिल की। जैसे ही कुछ उनके आईएएस के डॉक्यूमेंट्स थे वो यूपीएससी की वेबसाइट पर थे, कुछ कैट के डिसीजन थे, उनके पिताजी ने इलेक्शन लड़ा था तो उनका एफिडेविट जो था वो ईसीआई की वेबसाइट पर था। वहां से मैंने निकाला और उसमें से जो उसका रिलेशन लगाया मैंने, उसकी वजह से ये सारा घपला सामने आया है।
और किस किस तरह के डिटेल्स सामने आ रहे हैं?
समझ में ये आया कि उन्होंने पहले तो नॉन क्रिमिलेयर ओबीसी का सर्टिफिकेट दिया था, वैसे यूपीएससी की वेबसाइट पर लिखा है, मल्टीपल डिसेबिलिटीज लिखा था, वो भी उतर की वेबसाइट पर है। लेकिन उनका जो पिताजी का और माताजी का एफिडेविट है इलेक्शन कमीशन में है, उसमें उनकी टोटल प्रॉपर्टी 40 करोड़ की दिखाई दे रही है। उनके पिताजी के पिछले साल का इनकम 43 लाख दिखाई दिया है। क्रीमिलेयर का सर्टिफिकेट उसी को मिलता है जिनकी सालाना आमदनी 8 लाख से कम होती है।
This case has caught the eye of politicians as well. The Maharashtra leader of opposition wants her probed, and the Pune MLA says that Dr. Puja should be suspended and the system cleaned up so that others of a similar mindset and lack of scruples are rooted out.
एजेंसियों में गड़बड़ है, सिलेक्शन में गड़बड़ हुई है, झूठे सर्टिफिकेट की जांच होनी चाहिए थी। एक आईएएस का सिलेक्शन होता है यूपीएससी में, तो ये बहुत सारी जांचें बहुत एकदम कड़क होती है। ऐसी स्थिति में वो जो सर्टिफिकेट मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट लिया है वो कैसे लिया है, वो गलत लिया है। इसमें बहुत गड़बड़ी लगती है। लोगों की मांग है कि इसकी इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए, तो हम भी मांग करते हैं कि इसकी इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए।
ये सिस्टम खराब है और सिस्टम में वो प्रशासकीय अधिकारी उधर वो ज्वाइंट होने के बाद जो सिस्टम में काम नहीं कर रहे थे, लाल बत्ती चाहिए, ऑफिस चाहिए, उसने जो इनकम सर्टिफिकेट लेके आए, मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट आए, इसमें पैसे देके खरीद करके वो सर्टिफिकेट लाए और उसकी स्टाइल ऐसा हो गया कि पैसे देके भी कुछ भी हम कर सकते और इस सिस्टम में खेड़ेकर एक नाम आयल है ऐसे बहुत अधिकारी ऐसे सिस्टम के बाहर जाके काम कर रहे हैं।
अभी उनका ट्रांसफर वाशिम में किया गया है,
उसको निलंबित सस्पेंड करना चाहिए।
All right, let's take this across to our guest. Joining us with us is Suhel Seth, columnist Suzy Ben Shah from the Shiv Sena is with us. She is a spokesperson of the Shinde faction of the Sena. We have Nirmal Kaur, former IPS officer, and Sajid Supariwala, Shiv Sena UBT leader on the broadcast. Let me start with you first, Nirmal Kaur. As an officer, when you see this kind of behavior, and this is a trainee IAS officer is what we are told, you know, a luxury vehicle over there that you see, which has a lal batti, something that is obviously not allowed as per the rules now. Now you also have, you know, demands for a big office space. And what's worse is the kind of violation of the entire quota rules of selection. She appears to have faked so many things, and on top of that, this entitlement and arrogance. Have you ever heard of such an example, Nirmal Kaur, in your entire career?
No, I think this glorious sense of entitlement, I mean, it's truly evil, the way it's turning out. You need to have violated quota twice over, double, like, you know, for disability, she's violated the disability certificate rules plus the OBC creamy layer rule, as per the reports appearing in the media. I think that should be looked into. Plus this entitlement that we need a lal batti anyway is now abolished. Nobody except 3 people in the country have a lal batti. And to have a very luxury car right at the beginning of your parents will be very rich. But if they are very rich, you are entitled. You are not entitled to the non-creamy layer benefit of OBC. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You want to have the best of all the worlds. You want to come into the IAS through all kinds of crutches. And having come in, I don't know, those crutches were fake or artificial or contrived. And those crutches now are thrown away and your true colors come out. I think it warrants a whole deep probe. But as per the media reports appearing, apparently there's already been a case in the Central Administrative Tribunal where the activist just now said that the father had filed something there. So the cat, I think perhaps the matter has already been taken to Central Administrative Tribunal. It will need a thorough seeing of records to see how to proceed. But definitely UPSC and DOPT need to look into all these allegations.
Absolutely. The UPSC needs to look into it. The Central Administrative Tribunal, as you said, has the matter before it. But let me bring in Suzy Ben Shah, who's a spokesperson of the Shinde faction of the Sena. In fact, Suzy Ben Shah, how is it possible that such a person, A, of course, is a selection procedure, but B, when she is appointed in the state administration, is it possible that nobody in the administration paid any attention to all of these red flags?
Good evening to all. Let me tell you, as far as Puja is concerned, she seems to be very pompous officer. There is a lot of promise, which we'll all agree, that the new IAS officers, the young new IAS officers who are coming, who are engineers, doctors, IPS, they themselves choose to be IAS officer. So there is a feeling of giving service to the state or the nation and then the state that they're assigned. Now Puja, as far as she is concerned, her father was a previous IAS officer. His mother is a Gram Panchayat Sarpanch in a Gram Panchayat. So she knows how this system works. But she has taken crutches of false papers. And at whose instance the investigation started? It was the Lal Bahadur Shastri Administrative Academy, which after you become an IAS officer, you have to go for training. They issued the red flag. As soon as the red flag was issued, and her behavior coupled with her behavior, and probe has already been ordered. The additional collector.
Madam, how is a lal batti on top of a vehicle in the first place? Someone in the administration would have facilitated that. Who is giving her these big fancy offices?
No, it is the point is she's usurped someone's office. She's usurped the additional commissioner's office, additional collector's office. Now, if you are in a mood to usurp, throw your weight around, she being a woman, in this particular case, maybe the collector took a soft stand. I don't know. Now, why she put that lal batti? No, you can go to any vendor and put the lal batti. Certainly.
Suhel said, one second, let me get in a counter view on this. Suhel said, do you agree with this analysis that she could have usurped the office? She has usurped the lal batti. Has she even usurped the quota?
Yes.
This is a gross violation of the rules of business, as Mrs. Kaur said. But this also smacks of a sense of entitlement and a sense of blindness. Entitlement on the part of Puja and blindness on part of the state machinery and the state administration. See, I don't want to throw the baby with the bathwater, but bureaucrats have a greater sense of entitlement than they need to. You know, Mrs. Scott said only 3 people have red lights. Ma'am, please go to districts in this country. You will see everyone having a red light. They're not supposed to have it, but they have it. That is the way these people function. And that's sad. But no one pulls them up. Being a bureaucrat is almost like a lifetime offer from a government. You don't get sacked. You tell me, why should the people of Washim have to suffer this entitled brat? She should have been sacked. She should have been sacked for lying. She should have been sacked for forgery. She should have been sacked for fraud. Are these the people who are later going to become administrators if they're not already? Are these the people who will listen to public grievances? Are these the people who are expected to follow the law of the land when they brazenly break it? I mean, this woman has done everything contrary to what is expected both of rules of service and ethics. She has no business to be in government. She has no business to be anywhere but behind bars. If a common citizen had done the same thing, if a private citizen had done the same thing in a private firm, that person would have been sacked. What have you done? You have transferred. You know, let me tell you, this transfer business, Madhav, is the biggest racket in our country. We say, oh, he's been transferred out of punishment. Why should the people of Washim have to suffer this lady? What kind of nonsense is this? She should have been sacked.
Absolutely. Suji Shah, why was she not sacked? I think there is a case to be made. And I think it's a fair question. Why was she not summarily dismissed? Because there's so much of evidence that's out there in the public domain. And it's not happening for the first time. A high-handed behavior was reported long ago. Now the misuse of quota and the papers, etc. out there in the public domain. What was the administration looking at?
The only thing that I have to say is that we have to follow the rule of law. Just because the papers have been submitted, there is a thorough investigation ongoing. No sooner the report is out.
You know, ma'am, with due respect.
No, Mr. Seth, we are not a banana republic. We have to follow.
Well, you see, you making it out to be. Please don't defend the indefensible. The problem with political parties is you fall in the esteem of people only when you do this kind of defense. You should be saying, like Eknath Shinde sacked Rajesh Shah, it was a great move. My point is, why should you get a bad name for someone's errant behavior? And what kind of logic is this? Oh, let us investigate. Has fraud been committed? Yes. Has forgery been committed? Yes. By the way, you are being illogical. If nothing was wrong with this woman, why did you transfer her? That means you knew that there was something wrong. You transferred her. You didn't suspend her. If you had the right path in your head, you would have suspended her pending investigation. But you are mocking the people of Washim by saying, oh, we have transferred this lady pending investigation. Why? I totally agree with you.
And Suji Shah, this due process always happens to those who are in violation of the law. It always happens with those who are, on the wrong side of the law and wrong side of public opinion. In the court of public opinion, at least it's now fairly clear what this individual has done.
Forget public. You have been illogical.
In my humble opinion, let me say this. For the suspension and expulsion to stand, the due process has to be followed. They are from his father, her father is an IAS officer, the mother is into political system. Therefore, unless and until you follow the rule of law,
ma'am, therein is the problem. Therein there will be criticism that because her father is an officer, because her mother is engaged in the system, therefore people are going soft. Let me bring in Sajid Supariwala on that point. Sajid Supariwala, to actually have that suspension or dismissal of the officer, we have to follow the due process is the argument coming in from Suji Shah. Do you agree with her?
Absolutely. The first and foremost thing I would like to tell you that we are seeing a lot of brats coming up, be it at whatever age group, and they are taking advantage of their influential father or influential mother, or something is always going on. We should put a stop to having a very special treatment for these kinds of people. Now the number plates, the fancy number plates, the fancy cars, we have seen brats with doing accidents on the road. We just had a debate and some news coming up on that earlier Mihir Shah, who was a son of an influential father. Now we have come with this IAS officer. I don't know where our country is leading and where our state is leading and what the state government is doing about things. There should be some responsibility from the state government to put these people at task. They should be taking action against the people who are doing wrong. I mean, where is our country leading? Where is our state government leading? There was a time when I remember the time, even you must be remembering, Madhavji, that there was a time that Modi ji had removed the minister's red beacons.
Absolutely.
And now the bureaucrats are happily flashing it.
Exactly.
So I'm just surprised that why isn't Modi ji concerned about this now?
I think that's a very fair question. It's a very fair question.
Sad state of affairs.
It's a very, very fair question, and I'd certainly a lot of people's blood must be boiling looking at the blatant abuse of the system that this person has done time and again. And is that transfer enough? Is a very, very valid question coming in there from, in fact, Suhel Seth. But I want to quickly go across to our reporter Srushti, because Srushti, it appears that entitlement runs in this family. A short while ago, I'm told that the mother of this officer came out and started screaming at the media. Can you take us through what happened there, Srushti? Because you are at the residence of this officer in Pune.
Well, of course, we are here at the residence of the officer here in Pune. And short while ago, her mother came out and she started shouting at media who are present outside her residence. She also mentioned, if my daughter commits suicide, I'll put all of you behind bars. However, the entitlement which we are talking about, her father also tried to, push for her cabin. He met the deputy collector, he met the certain officers in the system. He asked for the cabin for his daughter. He also said that in other districts, there is certain provision for provisionary officers to sit and there are cabins for them. Why it is not there in Pune? Who constructed this building? Why it was not thought earlier? These were the remarks made by the father of IAS officer Puja Khedkar. Right now we are present is at her particular residence, and you can see in the visuals also there was a nameplate over here. They removed it so that nobody can show that this is their own residence. They earlier only removed the name of the Khedkar family from this particular residence. But it's not just about demanding cabin or car or any kind of privileges, but it's about the lapses in the system as well.
I believe that is an apartment building. It's written society over there. Can you confirm that for us? It's normally not the case that outside apartment buildings you have nameplates of particular families. I mean, look at the kind of entitlement. Is that indeed the case?
Yeah. Well, of course, you can see the kind of bungalow this is. This is a massive national housing society, and this is a plush area in Pune city. You can see the house. This is a plush house here, a one-story building, and it's a long, it's a big house. As we can show you. I'll ask my video journalist to just pan around the camera and show you the inside visuals of this particular residence. You can see that there are 3 cars over here, and they are affluent family. And moreover, what we are coming to know is that she opted for a OBC certificate under criminal law guidelines. Now, a person who comes from an affluent family who can basically afford a Audi car, how can she opt for a criminal law proceedings?
Absolutely.
How can she,
defeats the entire purpose. But a quick word from Nirmal Kaur. Nirmal Kaur, I have not heard anything like this in my entire career that I've been a journalist. I mean, riding in an Audi car, look at that palatial house there, keeping the nameplate outside, coming and threatening that if the daughter commits suicide after committing all these mistakes or these blatant, I think, crimes I can call it, because it's complete misuse of the quota rules. How can you come and threaten the media? It's absolutely bizarre what's going on. Nirmal Kaur.
It is very, very thick-skinned behavior. There's a Yiddish word for it. I think it's spelled, I don't know how it's pronounced, perhaps chutzpah or something. This is the kind of behavior you do when you're wrong also, and you're proving that others are wrong, and you are being very aggressive. That kind of a behavior it is. And that kind of behavior is now somehow becoming more and more mainstream. Earlier, this kind of behavior you would find on the fringes of the society. Now that is mainstream behavior, and one doesn't know how to deal with it. And
at the end of the day, the message going out to all those officers who claim that they are doing public service, if this is the kind of entitlement that they are going to engage in, the media is going to continue to expose all of them. So I think this is a case in point for all those who indulge in this kind of entitled behavior to not do the same and refrain at the same time. I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us this evening. We're going to continue debating this story and tracking these developments as well. For the moment, slipping into a quick break.